We're not even waiting till Ryan sits down. We're starting. Welcome back to Talkville. You guys know what we're doing. We're very excited. We're on episode 127 already, season 6. The episode's combat. Few things to tell you about. Of course, thank you everybody out there for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting us. And if you haven't joined Patreon, if you're getting all these shows and so much entertainment, picture it as a free show, but streamers, you pay something every month. So if you want to be a patron or give back to the show and support us, that would be
Get
great.
Some extra stuff.
Yeah, every little thing counts, and the tiers are great. There's a lot of cool stuff that you get. There's a new grand tier, and so you might want to get on that. We watch episodes with you. We talk to you about them. Everybody gets a poster signed by me and Tom. That's awesome. That I already put them in all the tubes, sending those out. And much more. So join Patreon, patreon.com/talkville. Also, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath is on Amazon. If you want to support that and have your dog have good breath, just a capful in your dog's water. Odorless, tasteless. Ryan, do you have any? You don't have a dog.
No, but I am also odorless and tasteless in my demeanor.
Tom, do you want me to send you some Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath for your dog?
I'll try it out.
It's great. It's so easy. I use it every morning. If you get a chance to call on our hotline, leave a question for this episode, make sure you do for future ones. All that and info is down in the show's description. Go to my Instagram, Matthew Michael Rosenbaum, the link tree. Cameo. Tom's also on Cameo. Tons of cons coming up. I'm going to Denver now with Tom. Smallville nights. Make sure you get tickets for Saturday night whenever we're doing a con. Those are amazing, and I promise you'll have fun. The first, most important thing for Tom and I is that the events are, you walk away thinking, God, I was a part of that. I had a blast.
Yeah.
It was unique. You're going to have a lot of fun. So get tickets at one of the cons.
There's no cameras or phones or anything, so you're really with us the whole time.
Yeah, it's just
we're able to let loose.
Yeah, you haven't seen us like this. So and you'll experience something you've never experienced. So do that. The Smallville Cruise, of course, is in June. Cruiseville.com. Get tickets. There's excursions with me and Tom. There'll be a poker night. There'll be karaoke. There'll be swimming with pigs. There'll be so many fun activities. So do that. And, of course, inside of you online store and Talkville podcast store, if you want great merch, Smallville merch. Without further ado, let's get into season 6, episode 17. This one's Combat. Title Combat aired March 22nd, 2007. Director James Marshall, writer Terry Meyer and Al Septian. Love those guys. Guest star, don't know how to say his name, but I love him. Kane as Titan, Ashley as Athena, Michael Eklund as Richter Maddox. Clark's infiltrations of an illegal zoner fighting ring forces him to confront his unresolved anger, violence, and heartbreak. All the while, the honeymoon phase is short-lived when the newlywed Luthers receive life-changing news. The episode opens with an eccentric Bruce Buffer announcing fights in an underground fighting ring hosted in an air hangar, while a woman named Athena is getting ready for the fight by putting on her Angus Young outfit. She gets creeped on by a peeping Tom, not Tom Welling. When suddenly the alarms ring out, she rushes to the arena and finds chaos breaking out as the bald-headed king of choke slams demolishes everything in sight, Clark Kent included.
What?
Already when I first started watching this, I was out. I was like, I can't. It's another one of these zoners. I'm over the zoners.
Well, they're the new Freak of the Week thing.
I guess. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it was just like, you know how this is going to end.
I'm not a wrestling guy. Are any of you guys wrestling people? Because I think part of
I wrestled in
the appeal. No, I think part of the appeal of like seeing these people in was like, WWE. Oh, it's these guys. Yeah,
sure. I mean, I like wrestling, but I don't know. It was just from such an intense episode last time to like, oh, now we're jumping back into this. It was a little bit much for me. So I went it's kind of like when let's see, let me give a good example here. It's like you're watching a really good movie and the first 2 acts are great. And then the third act, you're like, kind of shits the bed. Didn't shit the bed exactly, but I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. 2 days earlier on the Kent farm, the Kansas state senator questions her son on the mysterious amount of citizen arrests breaking out through the city. Martha is shocked by her son's willingness to embrace violence, but Clark writes it off to street justice and a means of getting out his Luther-fueled frustrations.
I mean, at least that, not drugs. At least he's like putting away bad guys. If you're going to act out because you're in an emotionally raw spot. That's one way to do it.
Ryan, the eternal optimist.
Listen,
hey, do what you got to do, man.
Over at the DP, Chloe has a fun new website to show Clark. It's like WorldStar, but for Kryptonians. They admire the chokeslams and hand blasts, but are determined to track down the operation and shut it down when a fighter named Titan straight up kills a guy. At the Luthor mansion, Lex and Lana Luthor spend the night toasting their future. Lex is rightfully paranoid whether or not Lana actually wants to be with him, but he tells her things will get easier when a kid is involved.
Yeah, it'll get easier.
Yes.
Yeah, because all parents know. But it's different with the Luthors. I mean, they'll have 40 nannies and, people doing everything. And
well, that's what everyone says is the kid solves the issues that were there already.
Do you think Lex would wipe the kid's ass? Or would he have somebody else do it?
For Lana, he would, I think.
He'd wipe the ass?
Oh, at least I thought he would, but.
Would you wipe, you think Lex Luthor would wipe his son's buttocks, Tom?
You're like, I think he'd all of a sudden pretend to get a phone call and be like, I got to go to Chicago.
Can you take care of this, Marge?
I got to go be in Europe for an episode. I'll be right back when the kid's 11.
Brody, can you take care of this? Oh, Brady, he died last episode. Oh, well, who's left? I know there's not a lot of security left.
Brady. Brad.
Oh, man. The next day at the Talon, Clark and Chloe having trouble locating the fighting ring as the URL and password are getting constantly updated, not the IP address. Mm-hmm. While the two of them attempt to locate some of the former Belle Reve patients, Lois pops in to vent about her Chupacabra problems and saying adios to her Trabajar work.
Yep.
Right? Is that Trabajar's work?
Yeah.
Huh, how'd I know that? Against the request, Lois decides to follow up on this illegal fighting ring and use it to break a new story to keep her job. Yeah, this is where I was like, stupid.
And she just shows up.
Dumb.
She was missing for an entire episode.
Yeah, it's just like, getting her involved this way is just like, oh my gosh, of course she gets knocked the hell out. I'm just like, come on, man.
Lois uses her military brat background to locate the Fight Club hangar and shows up in Kill Bill cosplay. Before she can get any intel, she gets stopped by Athena and attempts to cover her tracks with a grandiose story about being a lost stripper in need of help with her car.
Do you think those are real rings on her lip?
Yeah.
Isn't that
her thing?
Do you think the actor, can you say actress anymore?
I think she's also a WWE.
Well, yeah, it's got to be part of her
she is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Athena.
Like the way she was acting, I was like, yeah, she's a wrestler, and then Titan is also a wrestler. But
I hope they're
context.
real, because if you show up to makeup for that day and they go, by the way, we're going to put these on your mouth, it feels so weird.
How do you know?
Because Tom was in a Stained cover band for a long time in the mid-aughts.
I was in the WWE at one point.
Jeez Louise, here we go.
As Lois begins to indiscreetly take photos of the illegal operation, Athena shows back up packing heat. Lois begins throwing blows. Athena counters. It's an all-out chick fight, ending with Lois getting the upper hand and Richter Maddox holding her at gunpoint.
Back at the DP, Chloe shines a spotlight on this whole illegal ring by finding that a Belle Reve executive, Maddox, is farming patients to fuel the operation. Clark is determined to find Maddox and stop it, even if it means resorting to murder. I haven't read the word resorting for a while. It just took me a second. Over at the Luthor Mansion, Lex reviewing fun confidential footage of the Green Arrow infiltrating his various level 33.1. With his life crumbling before his eyes, he walks into his bedroom to find Lana on the floor, writhing in pain and grabbing her stomach. Another knockout. Lana gets rushed to Kent Medical and wakes up to see Lex having discussions with the new doctor. Lex hasn't decided to kill this doctor yet, and she reassures them that everything will be okay. Frantically asking about the baby, Lana breaks down into tears when Lex breaks the news to her that the baby didn't make it. The reactions in the scene were great, so much behind the different choices and edits. I remember, it's one of those things where I know what's going on, but I don't. Like, I play it as if I'm losing a child, if I'm, like, breaking this news. I don't. It hurt me. It hurt Lex to see Lana in pain, and he has regrets and remorse and all these things. And so, it's not like he's playing it up for the audience. He really genuinely is sorry, and he doesn't. Well,
also when you're working with someone like Kristen, who's giving you that, you don't know what she's going to do, so you're watching that as well. You're reacting to that.
Yeah. I do remember I got more emotional. They didn't use it, and I'm glad they didn't. But I remember it took me a lot to get it out, and I got really emotional. I was like, I'm so sorry, Lana. She's like, what? And it took a beat, and Kristen and I had a moment, and they didn't use that. And maybe it wasn't Lex enough. Maybe it was too real. Maybe it was too me crying, and it wasn't stoic enough. Talkville is brought to you by Factor Meals. Tom, I don't know about you, but I spend so much money on these delivery services to deliver me food, and then you're paying taxes and tip. And then I try going to the grocery store, and I realize that all the stuff I buy, it's just in my fridge rotting, and I never cook it. And I don't really like cooking, and I don't have time. So what do? Factor freaking meals. Factor meals. Make this your best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want.
Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat. Perfect for any active lifestyle.
With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts.
It's easy to savor more this spring. Factor meals pack in the flavor and none of the fuss.
Yeah, you won't be sorry with these guys. They're just delicious meals that I enjoy constantly. And every time I suggest it to my friend and finally get them to do it, they realize how much money they're saving and having delicious meals. And it's so easy and quick. When I'm hungry, I want to eat. I don't want to prep for 30 or 40 minutes. I want to freaking eat. Factor Meals, guys. Get started at factormeals.com/talkville50 off and use code talkville50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Wow. That's code talkville50 off at factormeals.com/talkville50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Later that night at Bell Riva, as Maddox is preparing to clock out, Clark shows up and breaks the first rule about Fight Club. You don't ask to be in Fight Club. Clark doesn't take no for an answer and ultimately gets his golden ticket invite once he catches a bullet that Maddox shoots at him.
Pretty cool.
That dude was dirty. He looked like the part, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I felt like that was really good casting. I think it was definitely good casting.
Yeah, because he had to downplay it like he's like a regular job in the real world, and then he has to like turn it on at night.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
It's fight night at the hangar, and Clark shows up to the overexcited Maddox, who begins pitching names like the Man of Steel. He enters the ring in all black and gets introduced to his first opponent, a girl, or even worse, Lois Lane.
Boo! Even though I love her.
Ding, ding,
Ding, ding, dong. Ding, 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 dong. Keep the heads ringing. Remember that song? Keep the heads ringing. Ding, ding. Go ahead. Tom remembers
It's
it.
a KRS-One.
I don't know. Continue.
For some reason, it was popular at one point.
The bell rings and the fight is on. Lois wants to make the fight look real, so she begins punching Clark's rock hard abs and breaks her freaking hand. Clark uses heat vision to take out the AV system, and this triggers Titan, who immediately recognizes Kal-El somehow. We're not going to know why. That's fine. It's fine. Whatever. Maddox tries to intervene, but gets fatally backhanded by Titan before he sets his sights on Clark.
He reminded me of that Game of Thrones character. What was his name?
The Mountain?
The Mountain. He reminded me of the Mountain for sure.
Yeah.
After some super cool jawing back and forth, Clark and Titan have a brawl that begins destroying the hangar surrounding them. Titan continues dealing deadly blows and goes for the kill shot until Clark turns the table and chops the zoner down, finishing him off aptly with a Superman punch.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this scene because it reminded me that during the previous episode, that's when I was sick at the church with like 104
I remember
degree
you
fever,
being sick.
and I couldn't go anywhere but it was a Friday. That's why we shot so late, because it was a Friday, and I spent all weekend only drinking large frappuccinos because I was so sick, and I ended up losing like 10 pounds in like a weekend. And this was my first day back. We're shooting this stunt scene, and I was still a little lightheaded. And just having to focus on just every moment I had to focus because I was still sick. But yeah, at least it was a stunt day because those are simpler.
By the way, there's nothing like being sick, like right
On set.
Don't worry,
And when
it's not
Tom
fun.
misses a day, everything goes crazy. I mean, they're just wheeling and dealing and trying to figure out like what to do. And it's just like, so when Tom's needs a day off or Tom's sick, everyone else is forgotten. It's like, hey, Rosenbaum, remember that vacation you're going on for 4 days? You got to change it. You're not going. Why? Because Tom needs a day off. But you understand, because Tom never had days off. So as pissed as I would be, I still understand and then just resent him.
Back in Smallville, Lex tries to get involved in his storyline as his new security informs him about the destruction of the Fight Club and the fall of Titan. Sure, why not? Lex is involved now. Back in his barn, Clark admires photos of different Zoner craters throughout the world and the line of bodies in his wake. Martha stops by to check on her murderous son and appeal to the regret he feels to prevent him falling down a slippery slope. Clark flips the conversation to Lana's decision to betray their betrayal, not able to accept the fact that she chose Lex over him. Martha tries telling him to get over it for the sake of his peace of mind.
The newly married couple arrives home and Lex finds Lana emotionless, sitting in the nursery. She tells him that she found out that Dr. Langston died in a car accident. Lex does his best to feign sympathy and console her on the shitstorm hitting her life. She was great in this scene. Lana pushes for the files from Dr. Langston to figure out what happened. Lex asks what else he can do to help make the pain go away, and that he evidently has mentally and physically inflicted on her. The episode ends with teary-eyed Lex getting rid of the paper trail of Lana's pregnancy by burning her files and ultrasounds in their fireplace. It's a shame the copies faxed over can never be reproduced or copied. Yeah, you watch those shows now, it's like I'm watching this one show about the Karen Reed story, and it's like, you can't get away with murder these days. You really can't. Because your phone records, who you're talking to, all the texts come up, even if you deleted them, they still can get them back. Everything is traceable.
Don't do it.
And they got DNA and they got all this, and there's cameras everywhere. Even if you fled, but we see in this one store 35 miles from the murder site, you went in and got this, and here you are at this time stamp, which means you had enough time to get, and it is just unreal how they do that. So, how they couldn't get copies of these records, but like it's Lex Luthor, so maybe you're not going to get them. Closing thoughts. Can only imagine the amount of WWE promos they ran alongside this episode release.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Tom, did they not try to get you at like an event or something? I feel like they always do that.
I don't recall them doing that, but I mean, they could barely get me out to do publicity for Smallville, let alone fly to some event. Yeah.
Yep. Interesting things of note. When in the ring, Lois is introduced as Vixen. DC Comics has a character by this name who is a member of the Justice League.
All right.
Yeah. Do you know what a female fox is?
It's a vixen.
It's a vixen.
Yeah.
Nod to WWE owner when Chloe says Maddox is a Vince McMahon wannabe. Obvious. Yeah. Other brother Daryl, what is going on?
Oh, just getting ready for this.
Dude, what are all those posters in the back there?
Let's see. That's Indiana Jones, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Princess Bride. I kind of have a thing for canvas posters, and then the other wall kind of became Smallville now with all the posters you guys did.
Oh, I love it. You have all the posters?
Yeah. I got a little tipsy one night to order these last 4.
That is amazing. Why, have you always been a Superman fan?
Yeah. Always since a little kid, because when I was growing up, I was born in 86. I'm 38. You had the Batman with Kevin Conroy, the animated series, all the X-Men. So it was kind of a given to be a fan.
Right. Did you watch obviously you love the original Superman, Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman, all that?
I did like Gene Hackman. He was a different take on it. You're still my favorite, obviously.
Get out of here.
You did it great. I think because you also had a lot longer to develop it too. You had like 7 seasons plus 1 episode.
Yeah, we're talking about combat. So what did you think of combat?
I've always liked wrestling because I wrestled all growing up and I always watched it with my dad and stuff. So it was a little campy and over the top at times, but it had to be, right? Because they had the WWE guys, had Kane, Ashley, so they kind of had to.
I guess if you're a big wrestling fan, this would be exciting to you. This would be a great episode.
Correct. Because Kane's a big guy, and they talked about Batista lifting up Tom, so Kane should have been able to easily throw Tom up over his head because he's taller and stronger.
Yeah. I mean, if you had to choose Superman or wrestling, what would it be?
I mean, I guess like Superman, but I actually like the pre-Superman stuff. That's why I like Smallville the most. It's my favorite of all of it. So I like the journey part. You know, the whole hero's journey, all that.
Did you watch with someone when it first came out, or was it just your own thing?
Originally, it was kind of with my dad and one of my older brothers, but then when he moved out, like third season, it kind of just became me. And then through college, I just kind of watched it by myself. I didn't really have anybody to watch it with. Or
Nobody in college? Nobody in college to watch it with you?
No, because by the time it came on, what was it, Friday nights toward the end? Most people were getting ready to go out, that kind of thing.
And you're like, I'm watching Smallville, but I'm not telling anybody.
Well, I could get ready quick.
Are you married?
I am, since 8 years almost.
Is she a Smallville fan?
She does like the show. I made her watch it before we got married because she made me watch Sex in the City. So we kind of traded off.
Yeah, that's a lot. I've never seen Sex in the City. How did you feel about it?
It wasn't that bad. It had some humor. It had some good stuff.
But it's mostly girl stuff, right? It's for women.
Yeah. I mean, it's got all the sex and the funny stuff. And it's not bad.
Do you see boobs?
Yeah.
Do you ever see dong?
In the movie you did. In one of the movies you did.
In the Sex in the City movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that was kind of like their relationship. The women didn't get along real well. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, that's what they all said. Like the Kim Cattrall and all them.
Yeah. Kim Cattrall. Yeah. I met her once. She wasn't very nice to me. So I have a feeling she was. I think she was the issue.
Sorry.
So what did you really like about Smallville and how it developed? And did it become the show that you wanted to watch, or were you ever sort of not happy with the show at times or seasons, and then you were on board, and then you were kind of like disappointed, or what?
Well, originally when I watched it was just awesome because I was a freshman in high school, he was too, so it was very relatable. Everybody in high school had a girl they fawned over in the halls, so I can understand all that. And then as I got older, I kind of go back, and now it's more of a nostalgia feel, like, oh, that song was when I was in 10th grade, so I remember I was doing this and that kind of stuff. There's really only one episode of the whole series I really didn't like what they did, and that's in season 8, something they did to Lex in the Toy Man episode, but you'll have to stick around and see that one.
Oh boy, do I have to stick around, brother Daryl?
Yes, we already went through the heartbreak of losing you once. We can't do it again.
Oh man, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a tough one, isn't it, Ryan?
Probably. Wait, season 8, you did a thing again? They brought you back?
No, I wasn't in season 8 or 9 or 10, except for the final episode of season 10.
Huh.
So I'd have to watch about 60 episodes without me.
Oh, no.
I think that's when the flight logs of Lex's private plane get released.
Oh, God.
There's a lot of Lex in season 8 without you. It's kind of weird. It's like, are they using your likeness? Kind of like the Back to the Future thing. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I remember posting.
Were you hanging upside down like Back to the Future 2? Is that, what's his name? Crispin Glover's character. they had to make him upside down because they couldn't use the actor.
Oh yeah. No, I was never in it. But people were texting me like, "Are you back on Smallville?" I'm like, "No. What do you mean?" They're like, "Well,
you had a mask. You had an accident, so you were all kind of covered up a little."
I think we saw you. I'm like, "Did you see us?" I don't know about that. What do you think? Lex is doing? Do you think what's up with the doctor? What's up with this whole thing?
Well, the doctor died. In this episode, they lost the baby, so it was pretty suspicious, kind of how all that went down. And when I first saw it, I thought maybe he was like injecting her with some, metahuman type stuff, trying to make the baby like a Super Lex Jr.
Super Lex Jr.
Other brother Daryl, as a wrestling fan, I have a question. If you could cast any WWE living or dead superstar in Smallville, who would you have chosen?
Rowdy Piper.
That would be a good one. He did good in They Live.
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know. It would have been cool for like the Zoner to have like an Andre the Giant.
I was going to say that. Yeah. Andre the Giant would have been cool.
Off your head. That would be kind of cool.
It could have been cool to have like, what was his name? With the 4x4s.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Jim Duggan. The old Hacksaw, I got to meet him. He was awesome. In fact, I have a frame with a 2x4 and a picture of him autographed, and it's downstairs. I got to show you that, Ryan. Pretty cool. I like the old wrestlers from the 80s.
Yeah, that's all the stuff I have. I mean, I don't really watch anymore because I also did like the wrestling like you see on the Olympics kind of thing. So that was more my thing as I got older. Although my brother's a semi-pro wrestler, like in what you see on TV in Florida. That's
nice.
That poster is of him signed up there from one of his matches. It's kind of fun.
That is cool, dude. That's really cool. I like it.
Is he a heel?
He does both. So he does like two different promotions, and one he's kind of like they call him Axe Clover. So I made a shirt that says "Here for the Axe Whooping." So and one he's like this kind of demonic kind of guy, and the other one he's kind of like a good guy. And him and his tag team partner were the champions for a while. So he does both.
That's cool.
Well, look, man, I love having you on. I love that you are supporting the podcast. Love saying your name. Love finally seeing a face. Hopefully, I'll see you at a con or sometime. We'll hug it out, and you take care of yourself.
Thank you. Hope to see you in Atlanta.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We talk about this all the time, how therapy can really help and has helped so many people across the world. I've been doing therapy, Tom, Ryan. It's so important, and BetterHelp really makes it easy for you. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them, it affects families, workplaces, and entire communities.
This Mental Health Awareness Month, let's encourage everyone to take care of their well-being and break the stigma. The world is a better place when people are healthy and happy.
Therapy is a great way to take care of your mental health. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it's for everyone. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma or loss. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. And with BetterHelp, you can easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. That's what's great. I think people start therapy and they're like, what if I don't like my therapist? It's going to be awkward. No, you just switch. You don't have to say, I'm sorry, this isn't working. You don't have to be uncomfortable. You just switch your therapist and get the one that's right for you. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/talkville to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/talkville. Time for the hotline. Let's go to the hotline. And we got Shannon, patreon.com/talkville. Shannon
Fofanen.
Fanon. I don't know if it's Shannon Fofanen. It's Shannon.
Hi guys, this is Shanna from Leominster, Mass. This is for season 6, episode Combat. How is it that Clark's able to bleed in this episode? He's not in the Phantom Zone and he's not around Kryptonite. Yet during the battle, he's able to bleed. Also, fun fact, Ben Ayers, who is with Lexus Security, also starred with Laura, Kristen, and Erica later on after Smallville and other TV shows.
Wow.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sweet.
I always remember Clark bleeding. Clark never bled. Bryce?
Only with Kryptonite around. Maybe it's something that has to do with the zoners.
No, I don't think so. I think he did before, but it's always like when he doesn't have his powers. It's a big deal when he doesn't bleed or when he bleeds.
All right. Here's Leanne.
Hey guys, it's Leanne P from Santa Barbara. Had a question about the episode Combat. So Tom, this episode required a lot of physical movement from both you and Erica. Did that also mean it required a lot of extra filming time? Thanks, guys. Bye.
By the way, answer that, but I guarantee in this episode, since Tom was sick, his double did a lot of that fighting.
I mean, anything that actually hurt. Yeah, like there's one point where he gets thrown against the fence and he hits the mat, and you can visibly see it's my double doing that. I don't know if it was extra filming. I know it was a full day of shooting, but when you get people from the WWE to be in the scene, they know how to do that stuff. It's so simple.
Yeah.
You know, they know how to do it.
By the way, did you notice in the last episode, I think it was, when Lex is by the thing where he puts the doctor into the, what do they call it? The crypt? The tomb? The whatever.
The tomb crypt.
Do you notice if you look at the back, you see the crease all the way in the neck? It's from a ball cap. It's my stand-in.
Oh no.
I saw it. I was like, holy crap, that's awful.
Oh Jesus.
That's awful. Here's Joe. Not Joe Spina, our good friend.
Hi, this is Joe from London.
Joe.
With the appearance of both Kane and Ashley in this episode and Batista a few episodes earlier, was there a reason that WWE wrestlers started randomly appearing in this season? I've always thought that there was a lot of crossover between comic book fans and wrestling fans. So was this the network capitalizing on this, or was there some sort of promotional agreement?
Absolutely. They were just
I
capitalizing.
wonder if they started showing the wrestling on the CW. That made it.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. It was a lot of wrestling, man. There's no doubt, Joe. You were correct. I don't know, man. It was kind of bizarre, but
hello there, Charlie Thomas from North Carolina. Tom, I've heard stories with working with Kane from Erica. So love to hear it from the horse's mouth. What was it like working with him, and what was it like working with this version of Clark Kent who is able to let go, and that legendary line where he just says, "My turn." Thanks, guys.
Let me ask you this, Tom. Also, I bet he was really gentle and really sweet.
Hey, they all are. Even Batista, they're extremely professional.
Yep.
They want to be there. They want to do a good job, and they can do it all. So I mean, it's not like we were joking around, but we had a good time doing it.
Jackie.
Hi, this is Jackie Justice of Civil Rights Attorney, originally from the DC area. I'm calling about the episode Combat. I have two questions. First question to Tom. Tom, were you intimidated fighting the actor who played Titan? It looked like he had a few 100 pounds on you, but Clark didn't seem scared at all. In fact, Clark had such conviction in his face, you thought he could take on anyone. What was your process for preparing for that fight? And question to Michael. Did Lex poison Lana so she would think she had miscarried? And did he do that now because he was worried that if he waited any longer, Lana would become suspicious on why her pregnancy wasn't
I think
showing?
I would have been extremely intimidated if it was a real life situation, but it's sometimes when you're doing stunts with other actors, there's a little bit of hesitation because you don't do them all the time. But when you're working with a professional, like I said, with these guys, they know how to do it. You feel safe even because they're not going to make a mistake and literally crush you. And again, Clark was a little upset about Lana, marrying Lex.
Yeah.
So.
Gave him a little bit more angst.
Yeah.
Upset. For me, yeah, I think that he was smart and realized he had to do something and end this pregnancy because she's going to find out her belly's not growing. Something's weird. So he didn't poison her. He just gave her some sedative and knocked her out, which is totally bad. Shouldn't do that. But yeah, it's really dark. Really dark. I don't know. But Titan. So that guy was a big wrestler at that time.
Yeah.
So the episode probably got good ratings.
For those listening, Tom was nodding.
Here's Kaylin. I think it's Kaylin.
Hey, Tom and Michael. This is Kaylin from Montana. For Tom, when you're fighting Titan, there's a lot of shots where we have the perspective of being Titan. Like Clark is kicking at the camera, punching towards the camera. What was it like filming those scenes? Were you part of any of the choreo? Longtime fan. I started watching Smallville when it was on air when I was 6. So thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kaylin. You rock. Yeah, when you're punching at the camera, like you're punching at him, like it's his POV. Was that any different than like actually fighting the fighter? Or did you just like punch? Like, was it difficult to kind of?
I think I'm always concerned about eye lines, and you ask where do you want me to look? Because is it down the barrel? Is it just left? Is it just right? But it was pretty much choreographed before we got there. They knew what they wanted.
Yeah. A lot of those things, I mean, you're in season 6, you just let the choreographer the stunt coordinators do their thing, come in.
Yeah.
Great. And maybe enhance it. Maybe, hey, what if I do this? Yeah, that's cool. And add some of your own stuff and your own, like, hey, what about this? And,
there could be something where, especially a shot like that, you really set up for that one moment. You're not doing the whole sequence. And most likely we did it once, and Chris, my stunt double, probably came over and he goes, you can't just kick your knee and your foot. You got to turn your hips and your shoulders. Oh, okay. And then you do that and it sells it better. So little things like that.
And, back at what Jackie, I think, was saying, maybe it wasn't Jackie, but Clark's already fought some zoners.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows how that goes. And he knows ultimately he could take them because he's defeated them before. So there is a bit of a confidence knowing, hey, I know what this is. This is big. This is going to be a hurdle, but
And I have to.
And you have to. Daniel? He's like, no, I'm Nathan.
Rosie, Tom, Riot Guy, the Science Guy, and Bryce. What's going on? It's Nathan from Boston, Massachusetts. Combat is one of my all-time favorite episodes, including Kane from WWE. I had a question for Tom with regards to your prep for this. How similar was this portrayal of Clark to the Red K Clark? And is there anything that you could take away from this performance that you notice moving forward in your performances going forward, particularly as you got closer to playing Superman? Love the show. Love the season thus far. Keep it going. God bless, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't remember considering the difference between Red Clark and Pissed Off Clark in this episode, but I know Red K Clark would have been cockier.
Yeah.
Not really care.
Yeah,
Probably
of
wouldn't have
course.
even fought the guy because he wouldn't care.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, if you're Red K Clark, you would have had, I think, much more bravado, much more like, screw you, and like, come on.
Yeah.
It would have been different.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a good comparison. But Nathan, good question. Text, Justin asks, with this obvious push to market the WWE with Smallville, do you remember any other wild pitches or product promo moments in the series that got turned down? For me, it all got... they kept that from all of us. We never knew what the hell was going on until we saw episodes and we're like, oh, that product they're pushing, Did you, Tom?
I mean, early on we had, I think I told this story earlier, where Clark opens up his locker and there's a Old Spice deodorant in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what's going on here? They're giving us $30,000 to put toward the episode. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is ridiculous. And I think after that, it was mostly just cars that they would product place.
Yeah, I'll tell you two things. I was pissed that when the show got going, that Mach 3 razor blades or Gillette or somebody didn't want to give me an endorsement deal. I was like one of the only bald guys shaving my head on a hit show. My agents dropped the ball.
Nowadays they would.
They could have been $1 million deal for me to do a Gillette commercial. Hey, bald's cool. Bald's beautiful. Gillette. Screw all those guys.
Well, there's your audition.
And I also drove these Lamborghinis and Porsches and Ferraris and Benz and never once. They're making money.
You could do one now where you're the consultant that they have on set and they have an actor doing it and you're like, cut. And they're like, you can't say cut. And you're like, no. You listen, you're bald. All right. Well, if you're bald, you don't need them, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, if there's any Gillette commercial, anybody from Gillette watching the show, I don't shave my head, but I shave my face and my.
Michael will use your product to shave his mustache.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to shave do you hate my mustache, Tom?
That's fine.
Bryce, shut up. Rosenbaum rating system. And now, start with Ryan this time.
Rosenbaum rating.
Can I be honest? 1.5.
1.5 for suspenders, Ryan. Bryce.
Heater. This is the worst one of this season so far.
What's happening?
Bryce, thank you. You just validated everything. But don't listen to Bryce, Tom. What were you going to say before Bryce?
I was thinking about it here. I'm gonna give it a 1 because there was a lot of effort put into it.
I'm gonna give it a half a rose.
Are we watching the same show?
Half a rose. Yeah. Combat.
What the hell's wrong with you guys?
Well, I think
maybe I was feeling generous after watching Promise, but I don't know.
You know what though, Ryan? I think as the season's gone on, you're liking the show more and more.
I mean, there are times. I feel like I'm on the other end of a lot of these ratings. I feel like I've given lower ones once you guys have given higher ones too, and here we are.
Yeah. I don't know. Death and save count. What did I give it? I gave it half a rose. 3 dead. Titan kills Fighter online and Maddox. Clark kills Titan. 1 saved. Clark saves Lois. Through 17 episodes, 28 dead, 31 saved. Series 205 dead, 221 saved. Ryan's favorite scene. This is going to be tough. I won't get this one today.
I think I promise you will.
I know what it is.
Don't emphasize one or the other.
All right. Scene 1, Clark catches the bullet. Scene 2.
Wait, Clark catches the bullet where?
In the parking lot with the guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Scene 2, Clark fights Kane or Titan, whatever you want to call him. And scene 3, Lana has a full breakdown in the nursery.
You go 2. What are you going to, Tom?
Yeah, I'm going with the fight.
I'm going 3. Lana has a breakdown.
2.
Why?
Because it was cool. It was done with, it was
boo,
intentional.
Boo.
It was
boo.
well choreographed.
I thought you were going to say, it's the same shit. You know,
I was entranced by the fighting. I don't know. Maybe maybe I understood what they were going for with the crossover. It was obviously promotional, and it was
great.
Clark's character had an interesting turn. Lana had like a dark turn. We found some information out about Lana and Lex. I think there was more to it. I think you guys.
It was not a short fight. That's for sure.
It was not. It was the whole thing.
I think Ryan would get a job in marketing at the CW. I think you could do it. I think you get a job in marketing.
I think I was feeling so hyped after Promise. I think
Me
I was
too.
I was ready to like this.
Yeah, but isn't it like, I can only imagine. I don't do this stuff, but like if somebody powders their nose and it's really high, and the next day they feel like shit, they come down from it. Like Promise is all snorted up, and then the next episode, Combats, you're like going, I want to jump off a roof here.
Well, remember what Tom Petty said, coming down is the hardest part.
That's it for the episode. Stick around next week as we kid around and talk about season 6 episode Progeny. Episode 18, Progeny. Is that the right pronunciation?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take the discussion online. Let us know your thoughts on the episode over on our socials at Talkville Podcast, at Talkville Pod. Show your support for the podcast by joining Patreon at patreon.com/Talkville. And more information, hotline number, all that's there. You've done this a million times. And
remember, folks, always hold on to Smallville.
We couldn't do this without our patrons.
That's correct. We could not do this without you, and we're still doing it.
So
go ahead, Tom. Why don't you start? No, I mean, look, we're going to do season 7. We're just going to announce it now. But we need your support. Keep supporting. But we don't know about further seasons. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see how.
I will say thank you to Leanne P, Raj C, Santiago M, Little Lisa, ThomasTomTurner, Shane W, BetsyD, Abhi P, Fatima T, KarenApple M, 99 more.
Leilani N, Brett G, always hold on to Smallville, Charlie T, Garrett W, Bob K, Tom N, Jason W, Lana, rhymes with banana, W, Nancy D, Brian G, Grape Jelly, 817, Amanda R, Teddy 127, Michael P, Ryan R, Randy B,
Craig G, Heather and Greg, we love you.
Heather and Greg, I'm wearing the bracelet, and so Ryan has it too. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, I made Talkville, Say Butts, Ryan H, Eric K, Kristen B, Finky, Early is on time. Damn, who's that? Jeanette E, General Zod. General Zod's a fan. That's great. Doug R, Carlos C, Shanna I,
yes.
Ken the Limerick guy. Nice talking to you last time. Corey L, Mr. Home Arcade, Claire M, D Brown, Karen M, Jules M, L Don Supremo, Brian P, and Mick Burt.
Ginger Moose, Christoph S. Nobody puts Lee in the corner. Leah. Amanda Lynn, Jessica P, Michael B, Sebastian F, Wolfie, Matthew and Lincoln B, Mary Lou L, Caesar G, Shannon Fofana, Matt Mavericks, Randy S, Cassie B, Danny Mo Mirabel, Mary K, Sophie L, Steve and Nate Danger. When you're rich, you aren't crazy, you're eccentric. Rosenbaum fan, Sammy Sharman, So Sammy, Carrie Ann, that's a good song. Alexander Castle, Jenny B76, Monica T, Ms. M, Emily Who, Locked, Jeffrey K, Katya C, previously on Smallville, Keith B, Cookie Kareem, Cookie Carrium, Libertaria, Danny Z from Cleveland, Biagio C, Lady J, Madison H, as told by Helen, Kelowna A, Natalia, Dr. J. Tom?
Kurt T, Clovis 2, Dr. G and Dr. T, Krypton Knight, Ned L, Flirtatious B, Per6, a Luther Corp subsidiary. Good to know. Naaman L, Smallville for Life, Bobby B, Kendrick F, Stacy L, The Other brother Daryl.
Oh, yes.
Melanie P, Charlie M, Cheyenne F, AJ Sison, Heather H, Tom and Michael's friend Mickey.
Sisson, Heather H. Yeah, Tom and Michael's friend Mickey. Hi, Mickey. Allison C, Karen H or Sierra H. I think it's Karen H.
We
keep
never know.
messing it
We'll
up.
never know.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on? Sorry if we messed it up again. The real Chucky B. Hubs, Cuban Boy, Laura C, Sarah C, Adam C, a lot of C's, C. John W, Jet Blazer, Bradley H, Laura L, Gertz Butt Cheeks, Brian E, Dan E of Chai Zona, Maria P, and Lishish W. Thanks. And I see a lot of names from here also on the Inside of You Patreon. So thank you. If you want to become a patron there, patreon.com/inside of you. We could use your help and love. So thank you for everybody here. Yeah, we are just cooking, man. We did this season pretty fast. So anyway, Thank you. We love you, and we'll see you soon, Tommy.
Thanks, guys.